Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be looking at 15 huge changes that Rockstar made in the summer update, the Los Santos Summer Special DLC, that you might not know about. So the changes we're going to talk about today come in the form of both the patch notes and the newswire that Rockstar ended up addressing. I will leave both of those in the description. Today we're going to try and focus on some of the big changes that Rockstar have ultimately made, not necessarily the new content. But the first part is kind of a mixture of both, so let's actually begin there. And that is that Rockstar have added a new drug vehicle random encounter. And this will make itself available to new players while exploring Los Santos. So I don't know if Rockstar added this as a part of like a continuation of what you had to do for Solomon Richards, which is something we actually touched on earlier in the day, finding out all those movie props for him. But Rockstar said there are numerous reports of low-level drug deals taking place on the streets. Keep an eye out for vehicles and activities that seem more suspicious than usual. So these are very similar to what you had to do for like Packy McCreary in the Diamond Casino heist, where like you would find him and break him out, and then you would end up getting to use him as a member of the heist itself. Very similar to that. It's just another random event that Rockstar ended up adding. If you guys have visited the arcade, Rockstar added 2 new games, Cubed and Acts of Fury. Now, we're not going to be particularly talking about that in this video, but the second big change that Rockstar made today is that players can now single player against AI opponents in the arcade game Street Crimes Gang Wars Edition. So this is the arcade game that made you have at least one other player compete against you. Now you can play against AIs. Thank you. So this is very helpful for lone wolf players because sometimes players might not want to play Street Crimes, or they might just not want to help you out at all. So now you can play against the AI. The third thing that Rockstar ended up doing is they added 2 new sets of wheels. So they added 15 new sets of off-road wheels, which can be purchased at Los Santos Customs mod shops. And they added an entire new set of wheels called street wheels. There are 30 of these, and these can also be purchased at Los Santos Custom mod shops. How awesome is that? Finally. And the street wheels are gorgeous. They are some of the best looking rims and tires that Rockstar have added in the game. I wish it didn't take 7 years for them to introduce this, but I guess better late than never, because these changes are incredible. Now, there's also a handful of other gameplay improvements that Rockstar have made. The first is that players now have an increased cap on how many standard properties they can own. So this has been raised to 8. So if you guys feel like you don't have enough garage space, or for whatever reason want another apartment or stilt house, well, go to the Dynasty 8 website and see if you want another property. Because for me, I had only 6 properties, which meant today when the new DLC arrived, I was able to purchase 2 more, which essentially gives me 20 more garage spaces, plenty of room to store all 15 of the new vehicles that Rockstar introduced in today's update. That's right. In case you guys didn't see that, they added 15 brand new vehicles today. That is awesome. The next big change that Rockstar ended up making happens when you enter the casino. This is a nice quality of life adjustment because when a player enters the casino, they are now told how long they have remaining before they can spin the lucky wheel again. So that is so nice because the lucky wheel is on like a 24-hour timer, meaning once you've spin it, you have to wait 24 full hours before it can happen again. And sometimes you can forget when you've spun the wheel or when your spin is available. So now there will be a little timer telling you if your spin is available or if you have a certain amount of time before you can spin again. It's very, very convenient. Moving on, Rockstar also added a return personal vehicle to storage option in the interaction menu, which will allow players to return their personal vehicles whenever they choose. And this is amazing because traditionally what you would have to do is actually go create a motorcycle club and then return your personal vehicle. And if you didn't want to be a motorcycle club member, then you would just leave the MC. This is so much better. So now you can just return your personal vehicle to storage anytime that you want. Another nice change, snacks can now be purchased from Wendy and the arcade property. Finally, Wendy was trying to be our new contact for about 8 months now, even though we met her in 2019, but at least now she has a nice purpose, providing us with snacks in the arcade that we can get for a small price. Moving on, another change that Rockstar ended up making is players can no longer rapidly tap accelerate and always get the boost at the start of races. So players must now only accelerate once go is shown to get the boost. And for open wheel races, you need to only accelerate after the countdown lights are removed. So I don't do a ton of races anymore, but this might have been Rockstar's way of trying to prevent players from always being able to get that accelerated start. So now races are going to operate a little bit different, especially at the very beginning. Another nice quality of life change, Rockstar have added new spawn locations to the Pegasus system, which will increase the chances of requested vehicles spawning successfully. Thank you. This has been one of the biggest Achilles heels for the Pegasus system, as you would call something in or call a vehicle in, and when you would do that, there was always a chance the vehicle would despawn or spawn on the other side across the map. It was just never a good system. So it really is amazing that Rockstar have added some new spawn locations. Bravo on them. They have also made updates to the frequency that players receive the help text, "The terabyte is parked nearby." So if you guys had your terabyte out, you would know how often you got that text. And it was so annoying because it would just take up the screen. Now they have adjusted that a little bit more. They have also adjusted the frequency that players will receive calls from LJT about their businesses. And one of the things that I noticed in game was that instead of calling you, LJT would actually text you now. That is so nice. I still wish there was a way in which you could completely silence LJT and prevent him from calling you and texting you altogether, but getting a text is way better than getting an annoying phone call from him. That is for sure. Another update Rockstar made is in Simeon's export request. They have been updated to increase the reward for successful deliveries. So this is like the original import-export that was added and has been in the game since day one. Now you get a little bit more money for bringing Simeon random cars. Now, Rockstar have also made several updates to the open wheel races, and this is not surprising considering how much of this update has to do with open wheel races. There's 9 new open wheel tracks. Rockstar introduced the open wheel creator, and so because of that, there's a lot of changes they made. Like, for example, when you're in the pits, a white screen effect now appears when healing. A new particle effects will appear when healed. Players are always passive when in the pits. Players can now change tire type mid-race while stationary in the pits, and pit map blips and checkpoints have been updated. Vehicle damage has also gotten a change. There's been a new UI that has been added that indicates when players have broken their front and rear wings and main body. The red screen effect will now appear when losing a part of a vehicle or if a tire bursts, and camera shake has been added for when losing part of the vehicle. And all tires now wear down faster, and hard and medium tires have noticeably less grip. There's also been some anti-griefing updates, like if players do not collect a checkpoint within 12 seconds, or if the player is given a wrong way shard, they will be made passive or ghosted until collecting another checkpoint. This only applies to Rockstar-created open-wheel races. And there's a couple of other things that Rockstar made, like dealing with music and vehicles and the user interface regarding the open-wheel races. I'll leave a link to all the patch notes in the description, again, if you'd like to check them out for yourself. Now, a couple of other things that happened in the patch notes. Rockstar ended up trying to fix some game stability and performance, including fixing several issues that cause game crashes, freezes, and other problems, as well as matchmaking and network issues that cause players to get stuck on a black screen during transitions between GTA Online, and an issue that caused players to lose functionality after joining a friend's session. All of these are good things if Rockstar actually do get them fixed. Now, other than that, Rockstar ended up fixing a ton of issues. A lot had to do with the Diamond Casino heist because that was the update prior to this one, thus they used this opportunity to fix a lot of problems. They also fixed issues with awards and daily objectives, as well as the game menu and user interface, as well as a ton of vehicles as well that got several fixes, alongside properties and some other miscellaneous things. So if you really are interested in that, I will leave a link to the patch notes in the description. Rockstar did a lot of great things in this update. So anyways, that right there is 15 or so huge changes that Rockstar ended up making with the Los Santos Summer Special DLC update here in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you have noticed any other big-time changes that Rockstar made to this update and to online. You can feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.